Sitting right here. I don't really care about them seeing me.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you can hear everything I got
Can
to
you hear
say.
what I said? Come on, countdown.
Not for me, no.
Okay. Man. and they just happen to walk in on it.
Or while we in the middle.
Because what you're not gonna do is talk trash,
right,
and not be in the room,
right.
Like how are you already? That's right, we already on, and here we go, and we're talking about the first musician of the night,
Heavens to Mercantile.
Mr. Morris. How are you already putting comments inside the thread, and we didn't even get to talking yet? Like, hey everybody, welcome to In the Key of J&A, podcast. Cut up, act up. Got my cup ain't red, but it's large. Okay, and what's in the cup is not of any consequence.
Right.
You're gonna hear some good rock music behind us tonight because they're having a wonderful studio session in the next room. So if you hear some good just shake that like this. Right. Get with it.
Join in.
But it's the prayers for me. I had prayers. No, okay. It's sorrows. It's sorrows and prayers. Because you're not here. And that's the reason why tonight we have my heart, my absolute cut up buddy, my baby, my Eneon Brister.
Hello everyone.
The wife of Chords, the maestro, Bishop Corners. There's so many names that he has. But y'all know him as the maestro Brister, Brister, the organist of all time. We already know that he's doing a bunch of work tonight. And,
yes. He's on job number 8 for today.
Job number 8 because he's like a musician Jamaican.
Yes. No, seriously. Like, I have not seen him since yesterday. Literally.
Dad, come on.
Yeah, he left at
work, bro.
Work. Left at 6:30 this morning.
I'm making macaroni and cheese tomorrow just for you.
Come on, because in the corners.
Because all he wants is the corners.
All he wants is the corners. The crust.
He just wants the
corners,
crispy. The crusty part.
Yes.
Shout out to Jay Morris, who is not in the building tonight. You are missed, but get out there and work, bro. Him and my big brother, Zach Williams. Shout out to Zach Williams Studios for allowing us another week inside the studio, and they are in rehearsal tonight. So it's the musicians' wives.
It's the wives. Now don't mind me. I got a hot cup and a cold cup because I need a cup. We gotta have cups, so I got cups.
She needs multiple cups.
Okay, I need cups.
I just needed a large cup. She needed multiple cups. Yeah.
Y'all let y'all cup pass from y'all, and I'ma pass a cup. How about that? Come on, let's talk about it. All right. Huh? What they saying?
All right, E. So what? Let's say hi to some people. Let's see.
Okay.
Let me see.
I see Joel.
Of course, Joel is on here. You know, because Joel has to be on here because he's ready to see what I'm going to say about him. Because you know, when we talk about musicians and musicians' wives, there are different types of musicians and different types of musician wives. And Joel is a drummer. So, you know, I've heard some things. I've heard that drummers are worse than organists.
You think so?
But I've heard that organists are worse than drummers.
I don't know.
I heard that bass players are like the quiet ones, but they're like the ones that's, you know, that does a lot of. Right.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about.
Okay.
We're going to talk about the things that we see as musician wives. Amen.
Oh man.
Yes,
where are we starting?
Yes, you. Hey, Christy. Yes, you, sir.
Chris.
Yes, you. Abby, hey, Abby, and Corey Nick. They already, first of all, y'all already in, hey, mom.
Yes, wife, 2 cups. I have 2 cups.
Y'all already in the comments, like,
we
already trying to shut everything down.
Yeah, don't say nothing yet. Nobody be scared. This is all good. This is all good.
Listen, where's Chris at, Joel? Because I'll find her. I'll call her and bring her in on this so that we can talk about you. But yes, you. No.
I gotta sip like my cup is heavy.
Where? I'm gonna sip light.
I gotta sip like my cup is heavy.
You know what this is giving? This is giving Signatures After Dark.
Yes, it's giving that vibe.
If you've ever been in the restaurant once it closes, this is giving Signatures After Dark. Because the conversations and the cups.
Yep. This is how we get down.
Always, yeah. This is what we do. So, sis,
yes,
we're gonna start with you because you had
okay.
You made a post.
I made a post. I did.
You made a post, and
I did.
Your first discussion concerning being a musician's wife was talking about the women that speak to, deal with, come around your husband, and they don't like you. How you?
Go ahead, ask your question. Go ahead. I'm fine.
How do you deal? Because that's not just a musician thing. That's a husband and wife thing.
Yeah, that's a natural.
But it's a little bit more. What's the word I'm looking for? You gotta kind of step back and kind of be a little bit more quiet when it comes to musicians in church. Because even though they want you to believe everything is done in the name of the Lord, it's just not so. So how do you deal? I can tell you how I deal. How do you deal?
So dealing with it has developed over the years. So I can say early on, even though I'm aggressive now, I was very aggressive in the beginning, like very defensive, like, what is that? What is this about? What is going on? Very questioning. But anybody that knows my husband knows that when he's doing work or ministry, even early on, he was always very focused. I think what I learned about my husband over the years is that he wasn't what most musicians were portrayed to be.
Yes.
Falling in that category.
They get a bad rap.
Falling in the category of hold 'em. I'm not saying he was perfect. I'm not saying he didn't do things, but I think he was trying to.
Every musician ain't a hoe.
Yes.
That's what you're saying. But
I think he had a subconscious thought that it was okay if he did it because he was a musician.
Or some of them feel like
it's a part of it.
To be a part of that crowd or that circuit or that group.
Yes.
You have to be a little bit of
this
in order to fit into
exactly
that group of people. I get what you're saying.
And it wasn't until like him and I had a conversation early on in relationship and marriage where I was like, I see better in you than that. If that's what you're going to do, that's not what I'm for.
Right.
But just so you know that there's somebody that sees you beyond what you do. And I think what mattered to him was, I didn't
pin there real fast because I think that
as I pick up my cup because it's
because let's just put a small pin right there because I think that a lot of people have this misconception and like I said, the only reason why we're generalizing musicians is because we are both married to one. So if anybody is in the comments and you're listening, this doesn't mean that this doesn't happen to a construction worker. Correct. Or this doesn't happen to a lawyer. Correct. Or somebody who, picks up trash. Whatever. Whatever your profession is, but we're talking about musicians because we're married to. Yeah. And one thing that bothers me, that has always bothered me, is that it's like that's all you see. Like they don't have any other aspirations, they don't have any other dreams. They're just musicians, and that's what they're going to be. Well, and that's all you see them as. That's the glitz and glamour of it, right? But then you never get a chance to really. And because most musicians have, because of all these little boxes that they're put in. I'm trying to keep it clean. Keep it clean. You're doing good. Because of all these little boxes that you've put musicians in, you don't see them as anything more than that. You don't try to get to know them outside of that. Yep. And then you wonder why they fall into these stereotypes that you have already placed on them the moment they said, "Oh, I'm a musician." What I'll say is what I learned is that about my husband is I didn't like him or love him for what he did. It mattered to me that he played, but it wasn't important to me as who he was. Right. What I liked about him is he was funny and he was sarcastic. He was hilarious. And he was a smart, but he was very intelligent. And we could talk about anything and we could laugh about anything. And I wanted to make the distinction of I'm not a groupie. Oh. Because a groupie's not a wife. Is there such thing as a church groupie? Yeah. Or a musician's groupie? Yeah, because... Is that a thing? What? And I know I've said this early on. Yeah, I heard it. Oh, okay. And it was good too. It was good because like, and again, like you said, sis, like if you're going to be a wife,
then it's the ups, the downs, the goods, the bads of, and again, we're just talking about musicianship because that's what we married to. The broke times.
I can't talk about a plumber.
Yeah, I'm not married to a plumber.
So there's that.
But I can talk about the times being paid, the times not being paid, the times, the late nights, the till 5 a.m. studying the music because you didn't get it till the night before because whatever happened, and still working a job because you have to provide for yourself even before you get a family, and
there's no 401ks. And
there's no 401ks,
and there is
no health insurance.
No health insurance for musicians, and we can go on and on there.
Yeah. So it wasn't glitz and glamour. Yep.
We'll back it up.
Yep.
To the whole. I have to learn music the night before.
Yes.
Because you didn't give me the music until the night before that.
I used to witness Darian learning
10 songs. You gotta
music in the car. We would ride from one service.
Yeah. And you gotta learn.
And he would be like, "Babe, can you drive? Because I gotta get this song."
Yeah,
and by the time
we listen to what I want to listen to,
right?
In the car.
But I can't because you gotta walk into this.
You have to listen to 3 songs on your way.
And then play it to excellence.
Because nobody ever and it has to be perfect.
Right.
You dare not mess up a note.
Don't mess up.
Don't mess up.
Don't mess up. But I think that's what made him.
Talked about you're trashed.
Yep. We and I'm gonna shout this guy out because Darian and I still joke about this name, Ivan. He called Darian a stickler because Darian will hear anything and he's just that way. It's not arrogance. It's not. He corrects me in the car, y'all. For example, shout out to Zach. Yeah. He'll give us a song and I'll be singing in the car and let my tenor be wrong and Darren be driving, no expression, just and I'll be like, I'ma sing the turn, yo. So don't think that anybody's safe. I'm not safe.
I can see him.
He'd be like,
making that face.
That's just the head. The head turns it.
Or he'll turn real slow.
Yeah. Or he'll sing it. I'll be like, all right, yo. I got it.
Oh God!
So he be correcting me just so you know when I'm wrong.
He doesn't, he'll just give me this look over like this over his glasses.
Right.
He'll correct me most of the time. But what he does is he'll look at me and be like, no, that's not the key. You're supposed to be this key. So I do this real ignorant stuff. I'll just sing out some random key and just be like, what key is that? Since you want to be Mr. Know-It-All because you can sing and play and in every single key and you got perfect pitch. So what key is that?
Watch this. I got one to top you. My mom, God rest her soul, I remember Darren was over my house and for some reason we didn't go out and we were playing hymn book karaoke.
Oh Lord.
And I would throw out hymns and he'd be like 132. 211, whatever.
Know that
and I'm like, why do you know that? It was so bad, Angel. My mom was like, are y'all broke?
You better know every hymn in that book.
I was like, no. And she was like, y'all bored? And I was like, no. And she was like, I really need y'all to get out. Like, hymn book karaoke, though? And I'm like, but it was just something because I was amazed. I was like, I only know one. Holy, holy, holy. Like, I don't know the numbers.
Like, he gets on my nerves with that. Oh, that's not the key. It's supposed to be C. And like,
will you play it?
No, so like, one day we're riding and the ice cream truck is like literally pulling up next to us. Don't do this. And they got the music on. And he like, oh, that song is in blah blah. I'm like, who listens to the key that the ice cream truck song is in?
We key and Mr. Softy?
No, no, we can't even mess up Mr. Softy.
Okay.
Because he's gonna tell you what key that's supposed to be in. Wait
a minute. Oh wait, people got questions.
Oh, there's questions.
Okay, so wait, Ed says, I want to know how all of that weighs on the relationship and marriage.
Which part? Which part are you talking about? Tell us exactly which part, because we done went through a whole bunch of stuff. Oh, hey, Mom. Y'all shout out my mom, my pastor, Joanne Barnett. That's my baby. I love her.
What part? There's the basis of marriage and all the things that is required for that.
There's a lot of things that come into play being a wife of a musician, because you sit back. First of all, let's start with prayer.
Yes, you must.
There's a different kind of prayer that you have to pray over a musician. Yes. First of all, they are a Levite.
Right.
They are your, they to me, this is just me. Now, I don't care if you don't like what I'm about to say. Just understand that from the gate. I don't care if you don't like what I'm going to say.
She don't care.
Okay? I don't. So the pastor's like right here. Whoever is the organist to the pastor is like right underneath them, right? That relationship between pastor and musician has to be intact.
Yeah. And I will agree with that because I have witnessed pastors go through a lot of turmoil and trauma having musicians that they couldn't depend on.
Right.
And then finally getting a musician that they can.
But then they'll also go through turmoil because you're trying to control them.
Yes.
And there has to be a respect between both.
It does. It's a dance. It's a dance.
It's an absolute dance. It has to be a mutual respect between the musician and the pastor because you are if you're one of those pastors who likes to have music behind you, you have to be in sync with the person that you. So that for me, my prayer life concerning my husband includes the pastor that he's playing for.
Yes.
Now, if y'all two not getting along, that makes it harder. Woo! That makes it harder for me to pray.
Yeah.
Because I'm covering my husband first. I want your relationship to work. I want your ministry to work together. But I have to cover my husband first. So if I see some stuff that should not be, it's really difficult to pray for a broken relationship that the two people that are in the broken relationship aren't trying to fix.
So will you say that that's where you've learned to take the step back and let God have full control?
Yes, I have
and
no
that's
choice.
Necessary.
I have no choice because I'll end up beating up somebody's pastor.
Yeah. And I can say that I think why, and we can discuss, anybody want to, put their comment about it.
She said about the whole late nights, no benefits as a whole, having to sit there. Yeah, okay.
So the thing is that
let me take
here's where it's hard when you're a musician because your ministry is your job and your job is your ministry. And sometimes the lines can become blurred and sometimes the blurring is necessary because it is the one job within the church that is paid generally, that has requirements generally, but still make you have the ethics and morals as ministry.
Right. So my husband says it this way. He says it's a business with a ministry component.
Correct. And then sometimes it's the other way around because there are times that musicians go above and beyond where ministry then has become first and they view it as a job second.
Right.
So, but if you're not careful about what you expect from the musician, what is expected of them, what is required of them, what is anticipated of them, the lines can get skewed and then confusion can happen because, for example, my job, I'm an underwriter. When I go to work, my work is 9 to 5. When I'm done, I'm done. I don't get a call at 9 o'clock because sister such and such or brother such and such is not going to be there. We'll talk about it at 9 a.m. when I report. So
there is no office hours
there are no office hours. And you can establish them, and that's a whole nother conversation.
That's a different conversation.
Again, because Christy mentioned it, where you have those boundaries and those limitations that are set. You must. But in the early stages, a musician's figuring that out.
Yeah, there's no bad. Honestly, no.
Yeah.
In the early stages, in the later stages, there is. Okay, so the thing about being a musician, especially a musician in a church, right? It's so not. They want to be so much like the corporate world, but it's so not that.
It's not.
It's not that. Because you can get an email, a text, a call at 10 o'clock at night about a random, sister so-and-so wants to know if we can change the song for Sunday, and this is the song. Now, you wasn't really asking. You was just kind of saying, right, I'm just saying, you wasn't really asking, you were saying, this is what's going to actually happen. This is my courtesy at 10 p.m. To tell you that we're changing the song for blah, 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 and but you're expected to learn it. Why? Because you're a paid church musician.
Mm-hmm.
This is what you're supposed to do. Oh, well, we're gonna have a ministry meeting,
Mm-hmm.
and you've already made you and Darian already made plans to go out to dinner,
Mm-hmm.
but this is mandatory.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
now our plans are canceled.
Yeah, automatically.
There is no sick days.
Mm-mm.
You can't get sick. Who?
No. I remember a whole
Who
year
gets sick?
Darian did not take off at all. I've gone on vacation without him, and so to answer your question,
See
Ebony,
that right there? James
Yeah.
is not doing that.
Yeah.
I have tried to send him on vacation without me. He won't do it. He's trying to send me on. I'm like, no, because
Yeah.
you need this vacation just as much as I do, if not more.
But I've had to learn that even when I didn't want to, I had to make the distinction of, okay, this is necessary until your situation allows for you to have that. I have to be patient in the fact of you're not in a position to do that yet. As much as I want you to, as much as I want you with us, as much as I want you with the kids, as much as we need time to ourselves.
Yes. And Joel,
the
you're
discipline.
Right. You're right, Joel. Your wife, your family,
You don't rest.
your wife should be your first ministry.
Mm-hmm.
However, if we're honest,
They don't always happen.
that doesn't always happen.
Mm-mm. Even if you wanted to.
Especially, and I'm saying this from the standpoint of two wives who have minister of music husbands. It's different when you have all this weight and responsibility. And don't get me wrong, it's wonderful. It's great. It's amazing. It's all those good things, because
Yes.
who doesn't want you want your husband to be built up, and you want him to have, responsibilities, and, you want him to take that leadership role, because most people who, I pray to God that the Lord don't ever call my husband to be no pastor. I don't want that. But I noticed that a lot of ministers of music have ended up becoming pastors, and that's just fine. Mm-hmm. But it teaches you leadership.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to all of those musicians who have entrepreneurial things going on the side, because that position puts them in a great mind space, because if you can deal, Lord have mercy, if you can deal with the saints, pretty much deal with anybody.
Now here's the hard that I've learned, because my husband's in entrepreneurship too, but it's still
1 decibel. I'll say it out loud because I don't care.
It's still within the scope of ministry and music and church. He's done other events.
Ebony, to answer your question, I don't know if there is, which is the reason why I have my sister.
Not musicians' wives. I have not seen one yet. I know there are for pastors' wives.
Right, but I have my sister. So, and we are not ashamed to say that whenever we have some issues that we know, okay, it's almost like a secret society. I'm not even gonna lie. It's almost like a secret society, because I can't share. And I'm gonna use you, Ebony, as an example. I can't share with you all the things that I deal with concerning my husband being a musician and all the different areas in which he does his job. Not just at the church he plays for, because he doesn't just play for one church.
Correct. That's
okay. So he doesn't just play for one church. He has other jobs outside, and they're all in the avenue of being a musician. Yes. He is not just a musician in a church. He's also a musician in other areas. He's also an executive producer. He's also, he does mixing and mastering. He owns his own studio. He has his own production company. All of these things are all different avenues flowing from the same vein. So there is so many different things that go along with that. So many different prayers I have to pray concerning every single thing. And then, like I said, he's a businessman as well. And not just underneath one thing. Like your husband has more than one business. My husband has more than one business. So, no, as far as I know, there's not support group. But this right here, this is my sister, is my support. Because anything that I come to her with, she understands immediately. She can finish my sentence because she's been married to her husband for probably twice as long as I have.
12 years.
12 years. And I've been married to my husband for 8. So, yeah. When we started dating, you got married. So that right there, she's got skin in the game. I'm not going to just come to any random person, not calling my friends random, but I'm not going to just go to anyone and try to explain whatever I'm going through or whatever he's going through and think that they're going to understand, because they're not.
The answer to the question, so how do you help support your husband when there's things that he sees or hears that he can't share with you? Well, that's in ministry, period.
Yes.
But
yes,
that's when prayer and meditation, I would say there's some tools you can utilize. Write it down.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of angry moments where I'm like, Lord, I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't like it. And he can't say nothing to me because there's confidentiality. It's still ministry. He has responsibilities.
And my husband is very, and I know Cores is like that too. Yeah. My husband is very, he's very, I want to call it secretive, but he's very private when it comes to matters of his job, because 2 reasons. The number one reason is Angel's going to go off. Yes. Angel's not going over mine. Yes. I'm going off. Yes. So he knows that anything that comes, that if I'm side-eyeing him as he's talking, he already knows maybe I need to pull back. And maybe I need to not say this because she's probably going to flip. And because I don't care, I'll show up anywhere. Yep. I'll show up. Yeah, I have. I'll show up in your parking lot. I'll show up in your fellowship hall. I'll show up at your house. Yeah. Because that's just me. The second reason is because he does understand that this is a God thing. Yes. And there are some things that he just can't share with anybody but God. Yes. And I have to respect I'm gonna lie, as much as I can't stand it sometimes. Because I want to know. I want to know. When my husband comes in and he's angry, and he's irritated, and he goes into that studio and he slams the door, and I know that he's going in there to get out his frustration. Absolutely. Probably listens to meditation music, and most of the time he's going in there to pray, because as much as funny as he is and as comical as he is, that man's prayer life is on point. Yes. Okay. I, on the other side of the door, am not doing any of those things. Right. I'm pacing. Yeah. In my living room. I'm pacing. Waiting for him to come out the room, because I need to know what's wrong with my husband. Yes. If it gets to the point, and he tries his best never to bring his issues from work or any one of the other jobs, you know, that he's doing. He tries his best not to bring it past the threshold of the door.
Let's put a pin there, though. When they don't try to bring it home, but if you call a musician at home, if you call it at 10 o'clock, you brought it home. And my rule has always been, if we're going to be honest about it, my rule is I'm going to give you your space, because individuals need space. Whatever you're doing, you need space, and you need time, and you need to decompress. Men need to decompress.
But when that space crosses the line into our time.
Listen, and I remember a particular time that my husband was upset at a situation that happened at church that he was asked to be a part of to find a remedy for. But he was so angry about the situation for 3 days. I said, well, now listen, Jesus got up on the 3rd day. So I'm going to go figure this out. Because what we not going to do, you're not going to not talk to me for 3 days and I didn't do it.
And I know I didn't do it. So now whatever is affecting you.
So I'm going to come to rehearsal. So now we're going to have rehearsal.
I'm going to sit in the back. Yeah. And now we're going to have rehearsal.
Yeah, we're going to have rehearsal. Yeah. And we're going to talk. Now it's become we. We're French now. Because at this point, let me sit because my cup is heavy.
I had to roll my eyes right there because
at this point
I didn't know exactly where you're going, because now I have to sit back and watch everything.
Because now it's carried over to home. He didn't try to bring it home, but it's carried over to home. So
and then when you have a musician like that who is very humble,
woo,
I'm taking it there.
Take it
there. You have a musician who is very humble, who's very, I wouldn't say soft spoken, but most of the time keeps his comments to himself and smiles and waves, you know, like the little Madagascar penguins. They just smile and kind of wave, and they kind of keep everything here. But you know something ain't right. Mm-hmm. And you're watching. Mm-hmm. And you're watching. And you, for some reason, think that because he's quiet, he's soft. Mm-hmm. that's when I have to step in and just be like, I need you to understand that saved don't mean soft.
It don't. What?
I need you to understand that just because he's mute or he's smiling and he's not saying anything doesn't mean that you just gonna walk all over him like a doormat, because I do a lot of walking too, in sneakers, boots, and heels, and I can walk real good in all of them. Don't touch this.
Right.
Don't do that.
And mine's kind of the opposite, because what's funny is Darian's blank face is very intimidating.
And the thing is, with Darian, especially with Darian,
Yep.
and I'm going to say this more with Darian than my own husband, you don't know what's going on behind that face. Because that face, you get that face more than you get anything else.
You do.
You'll actually get a smile or a chuckle or two.
Yep.
And with James, he's so deceiving because he'll be smiling at you, laughing at you, all of this wonderful stuff. In the back of his mind, he is...
There's thoughts.
There's a lot of thoughts going on.
Yep.
But with Darian, it's always... It's just a straight wall.
It's straight. And I've had to spend a lot of time opening that wall up.
But see, that's the problem that I'm having. You had to spend a lot of time opening that wall up. And I've had to spend years just like, you know how they say on Shrek, like an onion?
Yeah.
That's
onions have layers.
Yes. That's Morris.
That's what Donkey said.
Morris has layers. If you get to that point, y'all have gotten to that point where you get to see the heart of him.
Yes.
But don't think for 1 second when you first meet him that's not it.
Right.
That's what he
allows.
That's what he is supposed to do. He's supposed to be neutral. He's supposed to be, you know what I mean? But you're not getting in. You're not, you know, there's walls up and bricks and cement and barbed wire fences and rabid dogs that sniff gunpowder. That's all that's protecting him. Right? So if you get in and you don't cherish it, what happens? It's more walls.
Yep.
It's more borders. It's more gates.
Yep.
And the problem with a lot of musicians is because they've been used, because they've been abused, because they're not treated right all the time.
You're dealing with Eb's question. Good.
Because they are not seen enough. They are. One thing I appreciated visiting you guys recently was how your pastor literally took them off of their instruments. They didn't just pray for them while they were sitting at their instruments. Get all the way off your instruments. Walk out here to the altar, and we're going to pray for you. Yeah, I haven't seen that in years.
You know why?
Years.
Because musicians are appreciated for what they do, not who they are.
Not who they are.
They have
that they have
lost
a soul.
identity.
You forget that they need just again
we're the reminder.
The pastor needs a whole lot of covering and prayers. What makes you think that these musicians don't?
No.
They carry all that home with them.
Yep.
They don't get up off of their instruments and get prayer.
Yep.
They don't get to get off their instruments and just get fed.
But let me ask you, is that because we're looking at talent or gifting? Or are we viewing them as the same thing?
No, because talent and gifting to me is in the same vein, but you forget that gift and talent has a soul.
Right.
So that it's like, you know, we have to pick up all those pieces. So why is he stone faced? Why are you trying to, get through all of that? Because every time he does show someone or get close to someone in that vein where maybe there's a spiritual relationship, and then you show them exactly who you truly are, then they close themselves back up, put a whole bunch more stuff on top of it, and then it causes us to have to dig even further and be like, no, don't retreat.
Come back.
Come back. Because that's the first thing, as many musicians as I know, that's the first thing I always hear. I just go in and play and roll out.
So
why? Because you are so closed in at this point.
Yeah,
you don't feel seen. You can't be vulnerable. You can't, you can't do any of those things because then you're not, you're not effective.
So going with your point to answer Eb says, so in ministry, how do you deal with the saints that you know either don't like / sabotage purposely or bring mess to your husband. So let me tell you like this. I encourage, support, and help to solicit help for the talent. I protect the gift. Two different things.
Elaborate.
So Darian is talented, can play different genres. So I'll be like, okay, and he has learned sound over the years, and he does live stream, and he's learned a lot from the business. And so I'll encourage, go to school. I'll support by take the jobs, get the team. I'll help with the taxes. I'll do the paperwork. I protect the gift, and when he sleep, I pray. When he plays, I'll sing from upstairs. And I'll say things like, don't think so much, just play. Mm-hmm. Let the Lord, and he'll play differently. It's aspects of knowing that the attack is going to come if he's doing right. I can't prevent the attack because the attack is going to come whether I do my job or not. Right. My job is not to prevent the attack, but to try to prepare as much as possible. Right. So I can't stop. You can't stop any church or people within the church from doing anything that they have chosen, they set out to do. Everybody has a position and they play their part. So I can't play. I don't sit down at the game to play to lose. I may lose, but I don't prepare to lose.
Well, I have a different side to this question.
Mm-hmm.
Because what I've noticed in a lot of years, of in different areas, different churches that my husband has played for, the attack has not been on him. Mm-hmm. The attack comes to me. Mm-hmm. They attack me because they can't get to him. Because I won't let you get to him. So you're going to have to come through me to get to him.
But they think that'll work.
But you can't get through me. So I get the attack. I get the, she's loud. She's uncontrollable. She's a rebel. She, what's my favorite one?
Why do you think they do that though?
I don't care. That's probably
I know
why.
We don't care.
I don't care.
But why do you think they do that though?
Well, the idea is for you to try to break me down so I won't be there. That's your idea. So for all of you who have that idea, that you think you're going to come at me, to get me to not be in the same space where my husband is, because wherever my husband is, and I'm going to say this, I've been a member of churches, but wasn't always in that church because I'm going to be where my husband is. Wherever he goes, I'm following him. But also in that aspect, wherever he goes, I'm serving. Because we don't just take from people. We appreciate you. We appreciate the love that you give, but we don't just take. So I serve. And when my children, my children serve. That's a rule in the house. So even if I'm a member of Joe Schmo's Ministries, I'll pay my tithes at Joe Schmo's Ministries, but you probably won't see me there as much as I would love to be, because if my husband's not playing at the church that we are a member of, we love y'all, but this is where he's playing it. Okay? This is where he's playing. This is where I'm serving. That being said, you going to get all of Angell. All the time. Who I am, if I'm nothing else, I'm consistent. Who I am in the church is who I am in the parking lot. Is who I am in my house. Is who I am in the ShopRite. I don't care where I am. I'm the same person all the time. So you're not going to say, she was acting this way, and then when I saw her, she was acting. No. That's a whole lie. I'm consistent all the way across the board. A lot of people can't handle that. They may think that I'm maybe obnoxious a little bit. I'm probably obnoxious a little bit. You can't. I feel like because you can't control me, then I am too bold, too much of a rebel. I'm too much of this and too much of that.
So let's change that.
So the focus, but here's the thing. I don't care about.
You know,
I don't care about changing it. You want to know why?
No, I don't mean the actual. I don't mean the action.
You don't focus on him.
I mean, let's call it something different to let them know we don't care about that.
Yeah.
You got on whole armor. Wearing musician white armor is different armor.
I am the armor.
Yes.
I am my husband's armor. I will take every dagger, every bullet, every knife, every punch that you throw if it means that he's fully protected. I'm the armor. I am his armor. So I rather you focus on me. I rather you can talk about me all you want. First of all, I bet you won't say it to me. Mm-hmm. Woo! I bet you won't say it to me. And if you do, you better be ready to rock because I'm ready. I'm always ready. But that being said, I'd rather you bring me all that energy because it keeps your focus off of the real person that you really want to throw these daggers at. You can't, I'm not going to let you, like I have this thing. When ministry is over, unless you are giving the checks, I'm just being honest. Once service is over, let the musicians go home. The same way you let the pastor walk into his office or wherever he's going or walk to his car or wherever he's going, let them go because they're just as open. They're just as open as the pastor is.
Yep. Like our musicians you saw, they play after.
Right.
Let them do that.
Let them do that thing.
Let them have their moment.
And leave.
And you go.
Don't stick around.
Right. Lingering.
Ma'ams. Some of y'all sirs.
Wait a minute. Lingering through the crowd like Satan did when Jesus was carrying the cross. Go home.
Don't stick around. Let them go home.
I said it.
Let them go home.
Slithering.
Let them get their rest.
This ain't Harry Potter. Go home. Just stop slithering.
Monday, that's Musician Sunday.
Yes.
Don't call them.
Yes.
Don't call them.
But people don't want to hear that.
Listen,
they don't want to hear that. Don't call.
From the wife's perspective, because I see how tired he is on Sunday evenings. So it's like I try my hardest not to have him go anywhere unless it's like a ministry engagement that we have to do at 1 accord or something like that, and we do that because that's our heart.
Yep.
That's something that doesn't require anything but our love for God. This is the reason why he gets to play freely, and I get to sing tenor or any other note I feel like singing. Shout out to 1 Accord. I love y'all.
Hey y'all.
I'm going to sing what I want to sing, but it's something I get to do freely. I don't have to do it. I choose to do it, right? But all in all, if there's like nothing to do on a Sunday, no, I'm not bothering him. I'm gonna let him either sleep or go watch his TV or play his game, whatever he needs to do to decompress. No, you don't want to hear about the service for the day. No, you don't want to hear about rehearsal on Tuesday. No, you don't want to hear anything. You just want to go home. But for some reason, everybody has a bunch of conversation at the end of service, and they're just trying to go home.
Child, not just the end of service. We're going to have a meeting about the meeting that we just had, about the meeting that we're going to have of the next meeting, because we have to meet about it. That's what kills me. So you have your Sundays, and then you have your meetings and your Zoom calls and your rehearsals, and this is what we want to do. And then when you have not just you're the musician, but you have the other side of the business. Well, can you bring the equipment too? And this person dropped out, so
y'all musicians help us.
You got to bring your equipment, and and the extra speakers, and
I'm so glad I'm not carrying another speaker.
Let me tell you something.
Girl, I've seen you carry equipment.
Child, I've learned. Shout out to the decibel group, because I have learned how to rap chords at 1 decibel. I have learned how to rap chords and plug them in and put mic stands up and take them down.
My brother got the nickname he got because every time I would see him,
he was
rapping a chord, or he was going to his car for 30 other chords, because the chord that was in the church It's not the right
It ain't
cord.
working.
It's not working, or it's got a
The
shortage.
sound is fizzing out.
Something's
Darren, you got a
wrong.
JBL
Darren
32.
stayed with something in the truck.
And let me see if it's in the truck. Darren, you got a cord with the snake on. Let me see if my mixer's in the truck. Let me see if the stage box is in the truck. Everything is in the truck. Darian's truck is the Barney bag. Like, let me see if it's in there. I love you. You love me. A speaker or a mixer or 2 or 3. I mean, like,
I remember those.
We got songs.
He used to get a call, and the next thing you know, he's like, I don't want to have to carry. I'm like, carry what? He's like, I gotta carry my keyboard.
Yep.
What? Why are we carrying keyboards?
Yes.
This is a musical.
Yes.
They don't have their own keyboard.
No.
Like, what are we doing?
No.
You know, no. Like, I remember that. Oh, Angel, can you carry this amp? You want me to carry me and this amp?
Right. But
that's a lot.
I would watch Darian bring in equipment after equipment after equipment, and when everything is over, everybody would be going. And we would be there till 12 o'clock midnight because he's sitting there. And finally I said to him, what do you need? Like, okay, I've prayed, I've done. What do you need? You need somebody physically present to help you. And I said, I'm going to wrap this cord with you. And now he got people that he called. Well, I sent Shane here and I sent such and such there. And they going to go in my place so I can be here. Like, he has a staff now. And I'm like, Lord, I'm grateful, but he needs, yeah, I'm like, so at some point, you do get to the position of, today is a day I need you to take off. Today is a day I need you to rest. Where you kind of have to know their love language and speak to them in their love language.
Which is why, I say it all the time.
Yes.
Babe, go get on your bike and ride somewhere.
Go
ride somewhere.
Like, sleep. Here's a Pepsi.
Yeah. Go get away from the house.
Because y'all know D Maestro, he gonna have a Pepsi. And he gonna have Oreos in his pocket.
Yeah.
So go get them pack of Oreos. Go get that cold cherry pressed Pepsi with the froth on it. Out the back of the fridge. And watch your Mortal Kombat video.
Because honestly, I feel like every musician's wife should encourage.
Yes.
We should encourage something that is just theirs. Mm-hmm. I say this all the time, and because you've been in my house. Mm-hmm. My husband has his own room. His own room. Yes. It has its own bathroom. Yes. Complete full bathroom. Yep. Nobody goes in that room. You're not allowed. Mm-mm. We have lived in this house almost 8 years, and I have never showered or nothing in that bathroom. This is your space.
You seen the room in our house?
Yes.
I put the furniture and everything in there. I said, this
your space.
Bought the TV.
You need your own space.
Yes.
Because they're creatives. Yes. Their brains are always going. Yes. There has to be a moment where everything has to just stop. Yes. Even being a husband. Yes. Y'all not gonna like this truth. Oh. Y'all not gonna like this truth. A lot of y'all married women are not gonna like this truth. Sometimes your husband needs to not be that. Yes. He needs a moment to not be a husband, not be a father, not be a provider, not be a whatever job that he's doing, not be the answer to all things. Yep. He just needs a moment to just be a man. Yeah, because we do. So why do we think that they don't? And I had to learn that. As soon as he come in the house, he don't want to hear me. So I'm going to tell this story. Darian, shout out to you. I'm only going to tell this story on this podcast one time because I hate this story because it's true. But I'm going to say it. So we was watching this video. And this comedian said, I love women. He says, I love them because you guys can think about 30 million things. You can think about the kids, the bills, the house, cleaning, going to the market, what you did for work. We have to do this and we have to pay that. And then we have this on Saturday. He said, men think in boxes. He says, you come in, man wants to talk about bills. He says, so he pulls out the bill box. And that's it. And he talks about bills. He says, then he puts that box back. And then he'll talk about the kids, so he pulls out the kid box. He says the kid box and the bill box are never out together. And I was like, and Darian was just sitting there looking at me. I was like,
So you trying to say I got 50 boxes and you only going to talk one box at a time? And he was like, babe, that's all I was trying to explain.
50 boxes open.
I got 50 boxes open and I ain't put no box back because all the boxes are important.
All our boxes run
Boxes'
together.
lives matter. Like at this
all
point.
All our boxes run together.
And he was like, no. He was like, babe, that's all I was trying to say. Y'all know how Darian talk, babe. That's all I was trying. That's all I was trying to
He's going to make sure. But see, that's another thing right there. They need to be heard.
They need to be heard.
They need to be heard.
Like my husband does not argue. He strongly intellectually debates. So I'm fussing and I'm telling him on myself. So all y'all watching, yeah, I'm talking about myself. And this be me. And I'll be like, this is what I don't like. And he be like, understood. I appreciate what you said. I don't really have a retort right now. Give me a few days. I'll get back with you about that.
Not now.
I'll be like,
I don't know nothing about that.
I'll be like, nigga, for real?
I don't know nothing about that.
I'm going to be mad about something else on Tuesday and Sunday.
Right.
He be like, I appreciate
20
what you
minutes
said.
and I'll find something else to be angry about. I don't know nothing about that.
But I had to learn, like you're saying, to push your point. I had to learn before he was all the things to me and all the things to the kids and all the things to church. He was Darian. His mama was blessed. Shout out to Mom Dale. His mom did an excellent job raising him. But he was just Darian before he became all of these things. And I love studying the Word and learning that God is the Father and He is the Son and He's the Holy Spirit and He's Savior and He's all of these things, but He is God.
Right.
And so you can be multiple things, but who you are, He's Darian. And I have to let Darian be Darian. Exactly. As much as I want Darian to be, Darian, we need to, we out of cherry bread because Josie mad, and we out peanut butter and the laundry, and he acknowledges, but I had to realize, okay, not right now.
Yeah.
They're not right now.
And that's the things that we, as wives, we fall short in that area because.
I'm sorry, y'all. Do y'all smell weed?
Of course.
What is happening?
You're in a building.
Okay, I'm sorry. I got distracted. Let me pick up my cup.
It ain't in here.
It's not in here.
It's not in here.
It's not in here.
But no, we often forget that. You know, I'm guilty of that as well. But I'm guilty of that to an extent because I've been with him so long, I can read him.
Yes.
So
yes,
he can say something like I'll say, oh, this blah 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 needs to get done, and he does this look where it's almost as if he's looking down on me because he'll look like this.
You get the little eyes.
I get to look like, and then he has glasses on, so he can get like this. And he gives me this smirk, like right now. You want to do this right now?
Right now.
And I'm like, oh, so you don't want me bothered? Okay, fine. You know, and I'll leave it alone. But then he's like, all right, what is it that you wanted to say? Nothing. I don't want to talk now. You know, I'm done now.
Because we're going to be difficult.
You know, because that's me. Yeah. I'm difficult. No, don't get it twisted. Who I am to y'all is who I am to him. Like, I mean, I respect and love my husband. I know. But I'm feisty, and he knows that. That's why he married me. So, all right, fine. I don't want to talk about nothing now. You know, now I got to be a baby. I got to whine because I'm spoiled. So, you know, and then.
I get to don't do that.
And then, no, he got to call my whole government out.
Oh,
you know.
So okay.
It's my whole government comes out. That's when
I don't get called the government because they ain't got a long government. So
my whole government comes out. And I mean, when I say my whole government, maiden and married.
Oh, he go there.
He go all the way there.
He put the dash.
He goes all the way there.
You gotta put the dash.
That's when I'm like, all right, Angie, you went too far. I go somewhere and sit down.
You done push limits.
Can't go somewhere and
sit
down.
You done push limits.
Fine, I'm going to bed. You know, I'm going to bed. You know, I know when I've gone too far. You know.
You about to get it.
But. He's still, you know, he'll still listen to what I have to say. And he's a fixer.
Okay.
And I think that's probably a part of him that came from him being a musician. He's a fixer.
So let me ask you a question then. me turn like this. Wait a minute.
Uh-oh.
Let me turn like this. You see me?
'Cause
You see
my
me?
little picture.
I'm saying. Y'all see this sexy couch?
Hey.
Okay. So anyway, what's the most difficult encounter or thing you've experienced as a musician's wife that you found he's successfully fixed or at least attempted to fix that you like, that's mine. Y'all heard that?
Well, one thing about my husband, even though I'm not an insecure person at all, my husband always makes me feel like I'm the only woman in the room.
Y'all hear that? Jay love him some Angel. Hello? Okay.
There's never been a time. I'm going to put it all the way out there today. Because y'all little skinny women, I love y'all. Y'all so cute.
Ooh, not the cute.
Y'all so cute in your
Not
little
the
short
cute.
skirts and your stockings and your heels and your weaves down. Y'all
So
so
you gonna do
cute.
the voice? You gonna do the voice
Y'all
while I hold my
cute.
cup? I gotta hold my cup.
But I'm a
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
My husband, before he was my husband,
Mm-hmm.
before he was my husband, when we met in Zach Williams in One Accord,
Mm-hmm.
we met in the choir.
Mm-hmm.
We met in the choir.
Mm-hmm.
We started dating 6 months after we met.
You did tell me that.
And I've always been a big girl. Like, very confident in who I am.
Come on. Because in purple with them shoes that you had on Sunday, we going to talk about it later.
I'm very confident.
Because I need them shoes.
In who I am at any size. I've been a big girl. I've been a small girl. I've been a big girl again. And never
love
had
the
an
change
issue
in voice.
with, baby, I've never had an issue with confidence when it came to Angel. But part of that is because I've always had a husband who catered to my confidence. From day one. He has always made me feel like I am the only woman in the room.
Yeah.
So I don't have the insecure issues that some women have.
Okay.
I sit back and watch a lot, even now, and over the years, I sit back and I watch women of all ages, boo. Woo!
You got the
I know, he gets the biddies.
You got the cool.
He gets the biddies too, honey. I watched of all ages, women, and he's not oblivious, but he's oblivious. You know, sometimes he sees, but most of the time he don't see. And we see because we're women. Women know women. Okay, women know women, men know men. So I sit back and I see some stuff, and I just be like, and it be that same one that come over and be like, "Hey, girl, hey," and I be like, "What's up, bro? How you doing?" I ain't even gonna side eye you because I ain't nervous.
Yeah, I had one pull me out of church.
Oh.
I wasn't scared. She ain't no teeth.
Help us, God. Ay. But no, you know.
She opened her mouth. It was construction work happening.
The funny thing is, despite my husband has a type, and I ain't it. That's the funny part. I'm not it.
I don't think I was it either.
But I
I'm
guess
the bride.
I guess who I am and everything about who I am is what is attractive to him. And then the shell of me, and because I know how to throw it together, I know how to put it on, and I'm a chameleon in every sense of the word. You know, there's a reason why I got 40.
It's straight gummy, right? That was what it was.
There's a reason why there's 40 wigs in about 70 pairs.
Come on, because you got some wigs.
Because I like to be all things at all times.
Come on now. Shaniqua.
So, he don't got to worry about cheating because who I am today may not be who I am tomorrow.
Like, who they sitting on the couch?
Somebody else. It's somebody else.
Somebody else.
But
sitting on the couch.
I don't like that thing never really. It never really gave me many issues. Now he had some issues when we was dating with a few, But me personally, I didn't acknowledge them.
I know that's right.
I'm not giving you no energy.
I know that's right.
You can keep texting them and keep going. You can go ahead. That don't got what you doing ain't got nothing to do with me because I know who I am, and that's not my business. I don't go through his phone.
Come on now.
I don't think I've ever went through his phone. And I have every password to every email, to every phone, and I don't go through it because I don't need to.
Yeah, I don't need to because I got kids. Josie gonna tell everything. Mommy, Daddy was at the. You right.
But no, I mean, I just have it, and it's and don't get me wrong, it's not that it can't happen to me. It's nobody's perfect. Mm-hmm. It's not that it can't happen to me,
right?
But that's not in my thought process to say, because then I'll be all over you for the wrong reasons,
right?
And I don't want that. I want to be all over you because I want to be all over you. I don't want to be all over you because I think somebody else wants you or somebody else wants to take you from me. Because I feel like this: if somebody can take you from me, then you were never mine in the first place.
I've heard that. Yep.
So, and then we have a different kind of relationship, and you know this. Me and my husband are very good friends, so he'll say something that people will be like, "I cannot believe you just allowed your husband to say that."
Yep.
Yes, like, you let your husband call up 2 other women wife? I sure do. Mind your business. Right. You don't know what our relationship is. You have
and
no
both
clue.
them wives will kill you over us. So.
Exactly. Matter of fact, both of them wives will kill you over me.
Yes.
Before they'll kill you over him.
I'm just saying.
Shout out to my freaking Spanish wifey.
Because I got put in Facebook jail.
My wifey, Tashana. I love both of y'all.
I got put in Facebook jail. Protect the Angel from Jay. Because Jay said something dumb last week, y'all.
Yeah.
And Facebook told me I violated all the laws.
In the jail.
Because I said.
Don't get out of jail free card.
So just to back up. Because, I'm talking about it, Jay. I'm sore about it. Because Facebook told me off. Jay going to say, if Angel had passed away, God forbid, he was going to move on and have another woman in their bed.
And put somebody in my $4,000
I said, I'll be damned if you do. I'm going to poison her with this cake.
And then, don't you know, you have violated the community.
Sure enough, Facebook came in and said, you have violated the security laws. We have blocked you. I was like, thanks, Jay.
This is what I can say. At least that was your first time going to jail.
It was my first time going to jail. I'm surprised.
I'm a repeat offender.
I
promise you, I am a repeat offender. They done put me in jail like 8 times in like the last year and a half. I'm like, dang.
That's why I got to post that.
That's why I got to get me a shirt that say I say stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because I say stuff.
Yep.
And I'm not, I'm going to say it. Like, there's no filter here.
I'll be trying to filter, but it don't work. Not even on my water.
So, here's a question for you.
Oh, come on. Here we go. Let me sit.
Because I know you've heard them all.
Come on. What's up?
12 years. Mm-hmm. Married 12 years now.
Married
which means
12.
they didn't just, they've been together longer than 12 years.
Correct.
What is the best musician pickup line you've heard? I got mine.
The best musician pickup line. Let me think now.
And not one that he says. One that you've heard said to him.
Oh.
I got one favorite was like number 1.
I got to do the voice. Okay.
Ooh, do the voice.
Okay.
Y'all know she's an actress, so watch her throw it on real fast.
Okay. You know I believe in your ministry, right? You know I believe in what you're trying to do, and I just want to encourage you. If you ever need anything,
that's the one.
I'm always here for you. Okay?
Anytime you need prayer.
Anytime you need prayer, anything. Don't think you have to do everything on your own. That's not what's expected of you. I just want to encourage your heart today. Okay?
Can I pray for you?
Can I pray for you? Is everything okay?
Father God.
What do you need? It's all in the voice. What do you need?
That's the one.
And sing. And pick up my cup. Because I'm a sit. Was that
good?
Was that good, y'all?
So this is the one. This is the one I always heard.
Can I get lessons?
That's the one.
Somebody put it. I think Joe put it. Child. Listen. So here's why that one don't work, Joel.
I have a 5-year-old.
Yes.
Who is learning how to read music at 5.
Joel, that one didn't work because Darian too mean.
Do you give lessons?
Yeah. He be like, no. So that one didn't work. So now they try to do
so much OD.
They try to. Do you need help? Is everything okay? Do you need anything? Did you eat? And now Darian's so ignorant. He be like, I don't eat because I fall asleep.
You better have a.
I was like, what? It's like Kevin Hart said about Ice Cube. I don't laugh because I don't want to waste tape. What? What do you mean, Derek? You're not going to eat because you don't want to go to sleep? All right, Derek. But it's true.
You better have a.
Because he will go to sleep.
Listen, you
but
better have a back door, bro.
he got a back door. He's not falling for no trap
That is
in
the
these
best
years.
one. Listen, that's the one I've always
The
heard.
lessons.
Do you give lessons? Do you give vocal lessons?
Give
What
lessons
kind
to
of
your
vocal
baby.
lessons would you like, ma'am?
Right.
Like, which vocal lessons? Are you
Right.
singing or are you trying to sing?
Right. You trying to take dictation. I know what you trying to do. Sit down.
And it ain't that.
Okay. I said it. I said it. Put me in Facebook jail. Go ahead. I said it. I said it. Put me back in jail. I don't care.
Oh, Lord. All right. Here's a good one.
Okay, come on. I don't know why I keep sitting forward to the mic
When
like
they
you.
don't get paid on time.
Shut.
Boy, money's about to lose it.
Child paid on time. Hell, paid it all.
Oh, whoa.
Let's talk about it.
This cup is so pretty.
Ain't it pretty? Let me pick up mine because mine
This
is
cup
heavy.
is just so pretty.
I said dictation. Yes, Melanie, dictation, honey. They want to say dictation, honey.
This cup is so pretty. Not get paid.
Let me
at
tell
all.
you something. Not paid on time, not paid as agreed, not paid what expected, not paid as promised, not paid per contract, paid broken from contract, not paid at all. Paid and it bounced.
Whoa! God. Funny thing is, I was not well, that's not a Baptist church. Clearly.
Can't listen.
I was not expecting you to say that last.
But I'm going to say it,
Not
pay and it
bounced.
bounced. And I've gotten a notification, excuse me, to check that you have deposited on such and such
Nick
date
Hill
has not
said,
cleared.
what's pay?
Right. Talk about it, Nick.
What's pay? What's
And I
that?
mean, come on now. They want the musician to bring the equipment, to be on time, to get there early, to set
bring
everything
the
up.
equipment, and you got and
to
your,
do
and
the
your church is on the
testing.
third floor.
Your church ain't got no elevator. We ain't got no ramp. Carry this up the steps. It's hot in here. They smoking weed on the first floor. We on the third floor, so it's traveling upwards. Y'all cooking chicken on the second floor, so I'm gonna smell like everything by the time I leave here. And then we ain't gonna get no pay at the end because I forgot.
And this is why
I don't have your name.
And this is why most musicians' wives handle the books.
Cause I handle the taxes.
This
I
is why
handle
they
the
handle
taxes.
the books, they handle the contracts.
And what kills me is in this stage of life is that my husband runs his business and he pays other people. So other people on his staff get paid. A lot of times where he don't.
Which means when you mess up the contract
Yes.
of one decimal,
You're affecting other people.
Other people's pay and their livelihood.
Yes. And he got a lot of young guys. You know, these aren't people even that have kids yet or families they trying to. And it's like they can't get anything. And that's why it is my heart to eventually have some kind of workshop that
There's
these
such a
musicians
shortage.
can come and learn about investing their
There's
money
such a shortage of
and
musicians.
savings. Yes, and protecting their assets and things like, because ain't nobody doing that for them.
That plus, you know, it's the only job that does not get cost of living increase.
Yes.
Like there are some musicians, I'm not talking about my own, but I know some that you're still paying some of these drummers like $150.
Right. This is my
That's
favorite.
gas money.
How far y'all want me to go?
You know what? I went to the store today. I bought some food for tomorrow's dinner. Shameless plug.
What we
I
having?
wasn't even going to talk about it, but I'm just saying.
Cause I might have to make my trip and
Kinda
get my
like it.
platter.
What am I making? Crabs.
The ones that travel. Child, don't even talk about the ones that travel, child.
And
You making the mashed potato?
lima bean.
You making lima bean?
And
Child, tore up them black eyed peas with that fat from the red and
I
turmeric.
sure did. But I went to the store today, bought all the ingredients, and I didn't buy a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna sell a lot because I'm not gonna spend my whole day cooking. I'm not doing it. That's the reason why the restaurant is closed temporarily at the
Don't talk
moment,
about what
so that I
time.
can get a break.
Yep.
Because I need a break too. But that's not this show.
That's not the show.
Spent $94.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought to myself, as I'm sitting here, $94 in groceries
Mm-hmm.
for one meal,
Mm-hmm.
plus the $30 that I put in my gas tank,
Mm-hmm.
is what some
Get
musicians
paid.
are getting paid every Sunday.
Mm-hmm. If they get it on Sunday. Oh, I said it.
$150.
Huh? I've been sipping. I said it. If they get it on Sunday.
It's 100. Like, who you can you live
On that.
off of $600 a month?
And then don't complain. Because it gets treated like they doing you a favor. My thing is, BNC ain't doing me no favor.
Yeah, that's
They be like, you do the work, you get the check. You don't do the work, you don't get the check.
But there's no room for growth. You can't move up. Like, there's nowhere to move to.
Yeah, where we moving to?
There's nowhere to move to, so there's no promotion.
Yeah, it's not like organ 1, organ 2. Like, it's one organ.
You like, there's no level up.
Yeah.
And
like, I'm going to second organ.
this is why
What?
I agree with you where when it comes to musicians need to rally together and be taught how to put their money in different places. If this is what you're going to do, and I'm saying this with all sincerity, there is nothing wrong with being a musician for a church.
Right.
And that being your occupation.
Yep.
But you have to also think of yourself.
Shut up, Joe.
You have to think of yourself. You have to think, if you decide to have a family,
Right.
you have to think, okay, what's going to happen in 20 years?
So how can we do that? How can we get, because that's what I want to do. I want to get, like, my husband does this full time. He has the business full time. Now, he's insured because I'm working. But there are musicians that don't have family. They don't have outside jobs.
It's a rock group across the street.
Yes, a rock group, Joel. How can I
They
get...
playing exactly what they're playing, a whole bunch of stuff.
How can I get all the musicians that's watching or musicians' wives that's watching, how can I get as a financial consultant, because that is what I do for a living. I'm an underwriter, but also a financial consultant.
Hold on.
My heart
Go ahead, keep going.
is to get musicians in one room on one day and be like, if you make such and such and you need to invest and you want to retire at such and such age, how to do it, what to do, what securities, how to get them insurance, not having to solely depend on the church, but be able to, how can I get y'all?
There is independent insurance out there.
It is, and it's affordable.
If you are a musician, you should have an LLC. That's number one.
The musician wives luncheon. I would do it. But I want to get the guys.
Right. If you are a musician, you should have an LLC.
Mm-hmm.
You should, so that you can be paid. Your business can be paid, not you. You should have an LLC so you can get paid a 1099. Your business gets paid and not you.
Yes.
That's number one.
Facts.
Number two.
And there are sole proprietor LLCs.
Yes,
you do not have to have two people.
You do not have to have two people.
Can I say that again?
All of my businesses and my husband's businesses are all single. What they call it? Single. It's called single something. Single operator LLC.
Yeah, single operator, sole proprietor LLC.
LLC. Yes, it doesn't have to necessarily be a sole proprietor. There is a single operator LLC, and you
can be managing member.
And you are right. And look, I'm gonna put another little plug in here for you. If you have children, you can put your children on that LLC. That's what I did.
Well, I need to talk to you about
That's what I did.
the affordable insurance because it's rough out here.
And
we can schedule something whenever you're ready.
Come on, it's hard out here for a pimp. You better be a pimp, honey.
Come on, Jay.
Come on and be a pimp,
Jay, don't get
baby.
me started. I'm already out of jail.
Be a pimp, honey. Be a pimp.
Kim, inbox. I'm not inbox me. Text me,
My husband
girlfriend.
done read all them Iceberg Slim books.
Yeah.
Be a pimp, honey. But no, like seriously, let's stay serious for just 1 second.
Yes.
So every musician, even if it's your full-time job, being a musician in a church, or even if it's your side job, you should create an LLC for that and create that as a business and let the church pay your business. There's so many, because then your business, everything that you do, every piece of equipment, every time you drive somewhere, all your gas,
Right off, deductibles.
all of that stuff is deductibles.
Yes. And there are rules that apply.
Listen, there's a whole teaching there.
There's a whole teaching.
And like I said, if
but
you have
I'm trying to
children,
do
you can add your
this.
children to your LLC.
Yes.
And when it's time for them to grow up and get to, you can put an LLC in their name.
Yes.
And they'll grow their business while
So
growing
we
underneath
need
yours.
to set this
There's a
up.
whole, And then there is independent insurance out there.
Yes, please. Can y'all just inbox me, please, so we
There's
can set this
independent
up
insurance out
if
there.
you're interested.
And she, look, now here's another shameless plug.
Don't do it.
I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. So my sister can help you get medical insurance and life insurance. Because
Yes.
how many musicians have life insurance?
They don't have it.
How many have a retirement program?
You have to have it.
Like you can literally get you a 401k.
Yes.
You can get you some life insurance.
Yes.
As a musician, because most times it's not being offered to you.
No.
Unless you, well, I'm not gonna go there because
we could.
How's that apple juice?
It's not apple juice, Jay. It's lemonade tea and other things.
And that's another thing. Thank you, Joel. Musicians. I'm a chef. I use my hands for everything. You can't insure your hands.
Yes. And let me say this.
If you use your hands for your instrument, if you use your foot, drummers, for your instrument, you can insure those specific things.
And
not
please,
along with your entire body, but you can insure those specific things.
Yes, please get it now while you can, because let me say this, just
you
like a car. Just like a car. There are times where you are uninsurable. You can get to the point where they will say no, you are denied. So get it while they will say yes, you can have. Get securities and savings and investments while you can. Plan for retirement now. We can set you up. We can do it. Yeah, it's a shameless plug. I don't care because I've done it for my husband, because I'm like, I don't want to work forever.
She's doing it for us. So I can sit here and talk about what she does because it's
important.
I'm also a client.
Come on. Hair club for men.
I'm also a client, But seriously, that all these things, and I'll even take this further. It doesn't even have to be a musician.
No.
You could just be an entrepreneur.
Yes.
And these things still apply. Even if you're not a musician, you could be. I don't care what you're doing. If it has anything to do with you doing a service for yourself to someone else, you need these things.
Yes, you need to protect. If you have a home, your home has insurance. How do you have car insurance?
I'm gonna say this out loud. I'm sick and tired of musicians dying.
Yes, dying left and right.
Dying. And
out of
not
here.
Having anything.
And not leaving anything behind.
To their family members. Like.
And a lot because they didn't know what to leave. They didn't know how to leave it, and then expect to not be here.
But here's the thing: it's not being taught.
No. So
financial literacy should be taught in churches as well.
Can I teach you? Okay.
Financial literacy, I'll say that again, should be taught in churches as well.
I'm gonna sit my cup.
And you should be teaching. Help me God.
Everybody, cosmetologists, barbers.
Stop right there
if you are an entrepreneur, it is hard. Let me say this as a person who has their own business, because I have my own business as well, but I am also working a 9 to 5. And when I say it is harder, 10 times to 1,000 times harder to be an entrepreneur and be solely responsible for inventory and administrative work and overhead and underhead and my head and your head and his head and her head and everybody's head when it's on you. So you have to have proper protection in place. You have to have proper working capital in place. You have to have proper investments in place. You have to have, it's not just because when I die, I don't care what PHEAA get. They can rot in hell. But I'm not going to leave that for my husband and my kids to take care of. I'm not going to leave the mortgage debt on my husband.
Need a support group.
Need a support group.
Y'all need a support group.
I'm not saying that there aren't some churches that are in a great position to be able to offer that. But a lot of churches are not. A lot of churches are not in a position, as much as some of them might want to be. There aren't all churches out here that's like, well, we don't care if the musician has medical insurance. We don't care about the faith. I'm not saying that. There are a lot of churches that do. There are a lot of pastors that are like, what can we offer? What can we give them? What benefits do we offer? A lot of pastors don't have it. Woo! They don't have the protection. They're not getting a paycheck.
Oh my.
They're not getting the salary they should. And a lot of times we say, well, the pastor shouldn't be working. Well, how he going to provide? He doesn't have what he needs in place. The musician don't have what they need in place.
I know a lot of pastors that have jobs.
They have jobs that work,
real jobs,
and then still have to show up at the hospital and pray for the sick and the healing and the shut-in and everybody and all the things. So it's important. So I am trying to set up something where the musician, you can bring your wife, you can bring your kid, you can bring your mom. I had a young lady, I promise to God, I was doing insurance, and this young lady reached out to me for insurance for her mother, and her phone died. She got disconnected. She was my sister-in-law's hair client, and she got connected with me to get a life insurance policy for her mother. She died the following week.
Jesus.
I couldn't get her on the phone. She had her hair appointment the next week. She said, I gotta call. She told my sister, I gotta call your sister-in-law back. My phone died. I put her on the charger. I forgot to get with her. The following week, I promise you, she passed away.
Yeah, I'm
17-year-old and younger children with a husband. I think she had 4 kids that she left. Honest, now she was getting a policy for her mother. Wasn't even for her. And she died.
Yeah, I can't. It's hard to sit here and watch, musicians. I've seen it. We've both seen it.
Yes, sick,
a lot.
dying.
They're sick. They
losing.
Shout out to those who fought diseases and won, like Joel. Shout out to Joel. But everybody's not that. Everybody's not as blessed.
Not everybody.
Some people, some don't make it, and then you find out that there was nothing. It did so much for so many people, and I get, and that's one of the things I don't ever want. I don't want my husband to just be used till there's nothing left, and then then you want to appreciate him when he's gone. You didn't appreciate him when he was
here.
One thing my husband always says is, don't give me no appreciation service, because I feel like if people really cared about me.
Yes.
You wouldn't have to put on no appreciation service. They would show their appreciation while I'm here.
Give them their flowers while they're living.
And I'm like, there's a lot of musicians out here.
Yes.
That probably share that sentiment.
Yes.
You giving them an appreciation service, you probably don't even mean it.
Right.
That's number one. You're probably only showing up because you want to see who's going to show up.
Yes.
But I promise you this, and I pray to God that this doesn't happen, that my husband goes before me. I'd rather not have to suffer
all the time.
Heartbreak. Not saying I want him to suffer the heartbreak.
Correct.
But
I get it.
Not. I don't think honestly, my mental state, I don't think I'd be able to handle it. But if I don't see you, celebrating him and loving on him and just checking on him now, because he wants a funeral, I don't. I have to put this thing on, and I see you in that pew. Baby,
she is rock. Y'all see the rock? She rocking, y'all.
Baby. You ain't never seen nobody act. You want to see somebody act out? If I see your face, I don't care. I'd rather you just don't show up, or don't come talk to me. Don't come hug me. Don't do none of those things, because just don't do it. Because he's so good to people. He's been good to people. He's been playing 30 plus years. He's played for probably almost every church.
That long?
Yes. 30 plus.
Yeah.
30 plus years. He played for almost every church in the area. Born and raised in Chester, probably played for almost everybody in this area. But you only call him when you need something. When you need him to play. I don't see him get calls just, hey, how you doing? Yeah, I can count on my hand.
Can I shout out though one pastor in particular? Not that there haven't been, actually 2 pastors. I want to shout out 2 pastors outside of my current pastor. Pastor Willie I. Graves, Sr. and Apostle, why am I to see? I gotta put the cup down.
Well, if we're giving out shout outs,
Apostle Phillips, Patricia, I couldn't think of her first name. Patricia Phillips of Nothing But the Word Baptist Church. When I say I have never seen two pastors love on my husband's soul, that Pastor Willie I. Grace would go out of his way.
Brian Keith Knight.
Yes.
Pastor Brian Keith Knight of Bethel. And don't act like y'all know who he is. Because
yes.
y'all know who he is. Y'all share his videos all the time.
Yes. I remember being in church and Darian was sick. And he showed up and played for Patricia Phillips, Apostle Phillips. And she was at a guest church and told them, y'all make my musician some tea. I'm sitting there like, this ain't your church. You can't.
Yes, she can.
She said, did not preach nothing. Did not say nothing. I have never seen, when I say gangster of all gays, she was like, excuse me, ma'am, to the nurse. She said, ma'am, can you make my musician some tea? She said, you all right, baby? She said, you get up and you make sure. Enon. I said, now what she ain't going to do is call.
Yes.
I said, did she call my name in the middle of the guest church?
How we feel about Brian.
That's love.
Brian married us. My pastor, she passed on. Bishop Ariel Davis. He is the nephew of my pastor, and Brian has covered us. Wow.
Most difficult times.
Wow. He counsels us. He's still our counselor, even when I don't want to.
Right.
But he still counsels us. He still checks on us, calls us, texts us. Every time there's something going on, one of the first people to support. Anytime something is bad, something bad's going on, he's the first one to text, hey, I love you, you're still this, you're still that. He's always encouraging, always trying to make sure that we are good. We don't have to be in service every Sunday. I haven't stepped foot in Bethel in I can't even say how long. But it has nothing to do with him being a pastor and a brother.
Let me shout out, since you brought that up, because y'all were there. And you brought up when my current pastor called the musicians off. His wife, Minister Aaronessa Harris, she came behind me that Sunday. Y'all saw her. She was standing behind me. She wrapped her arms around me and she called Darian's name. And she said, whether he plays here anymore or not, he's still our brother. He's still a part. He still does stuff for us. And I just wailed because it was, nobody else had to hear it. I didn't need her to say his name over the mic. The fact that she said it to me and she said, I understand. They don't realize the check-in and the checking on is very much important.
It is important.
It's important.
I need you. I
need you present.
Message, but I need y'all to be present in these musicians' lives.
Yes.
I wrote a post the other day that says, even if they're not yours, cover them.
Yes.
Even if they're not yours, meaning even if they're not a part of your church or a member of your church, if they are in your church, and they are playing for you, then you still have a vein with them until God decides to sever it.
But if we would view it different, if we would view it as connection, I have sang with many people. Where I'm not a member of the church.
Shout out to T.O.B.
Right.
Because I can walk up into that church at any time.
Shout out to Prince of Peace.
Shout out to Prince of Peace. I can walk up to any churches and be like, and freely minister.
Freely.
With no problem.
So if we would view it as connection and more than ownership. Like you don't own the musician.
Nobody owns anybody. You don't even own the members. You don't even own the members on your rolls.
So if they come in and they participate, if they come in and they offer, if they come in and they fellowship, if they come in and they give up their time and they give up their talent and they give up this and that, just so that there's an edification for the kingdom. Let us be connected.
More
Care.
than just the gift.
Yes.
You have to. When is the gift going to be put aside for the soul? When is that going to be the most important thing? Because I promise you this, pastors, if you actually get into your musician's life, and I'm not talking about whatever they're doing, I'm talking about their prayer life. Minister to them, have Bible study one-on-one with them. Because you don't get to see a musician in Bible study and actually be able to enjoy Bible study because they're probably working.
So can we say it like this? If you don't view them as a commodity, they won't view it as a gig.
Woo! Help us, God! Say that again.
If if you don't view them as a commodity, they won't view it as a gig.
They won't view it as a gig. Well,
I'm gonna sip my cup.
Was
that too much?
No, I think I deserve one.
Was that too much? Y'all tell me if that was too much. Was that too much?
No, that was good. If you don't view
Jay
them,
said that.
If you don't view them as a commodity,
right?
They won't view it as a gig because that's the first thing y'all get. Oh, this church ain't a gig. The church ain't a gig.
Okay.
But you're only treating me as if I'm here for a gig.
Because watch this. If you hire me as a consultant and I come and consult, then I expect to be paid for my services. But if you've asked me on the I need assistance, I need help, this is where I'm lost, and the approach is different. The input is different. The output will be different. What you get out is from what you put in.
What you put into it is what you're going to get out of it.
So don't view it as a commodity. Don't view them as a commodity. Don't view them as a product. Don't view them simply for their service. And they will not view it simply as a paycheck or a gig.
Exactly.
They will give more investment. They will give more time. They will put more effort.
You have to decide which one is it going to be.
What's it going to be?
Is it business or is it spiritual?
Which one is it? Which one? What do you request?
Are you doing?
And that is what will be provided.
Because if you, like my husband says, if you're viewing it as a business with a spiritual component,
right,
then you look at him as a commodity. This is work. But if you are literally like, hey, can you come in for let's have a little chat, let's just talk, let's just bust it up. And by the way, did you get the word on Sunday?
Right.
How did you feel about the word? Did you hear what I had to say? Did you get a chance to go back and listen to the live?
Exactly.
Would you like to talk about the word?
Yes.
Is there anything going on with you and your family that maybe I need to pray with you for? Those type of things.
Yes.
That's called an investment.
Right.
And when you invest in your musician invests in the ministry.
Right.
Oh.
Because watch this. If I invest in your well-being, then I know that the output will be you of being well.
Thank you. And a well musician works well.
Works well.
It's not just about the people in your pews.
No. It's mental. It's
they
emotional.
have to be whole too.
It's physical. It's spiritual. Have you had your
And
physical?
this is the reason why it's so hard sometimes for us, because if you're not making them whole, or you're not giving them the avenue to be whole.
No, you ain't making them whole, but you digging a hole for them. And then you want me to plug it.
Which
right.
is great. And I got to, and then
with a box and dirt.
Right. And then I have to come on the back end.
And fix it.
And do my best to fix it. And ask God to undo.
Right.
To undo everything that is now causing them turmoil when the goal was to make them whole in the first place.
A well musician works well. Absolutely. Again, we're going to say it again. That's going to be the hashtag.
Yeah.
Don't treat them as a commodity, and they won't treat your church assignment as a gig. Because it is an assignment. It is God's assignment. And they struggle.
It should be God's assignment.
It should be. And they struggle. The good musician struggles in their heart.
And that's what I was about to say.
Not to treat it that way.
Not all musicians
they don't see it as a gig.
created equal.
No. Some want to be a part of the church. They want to join. They want to come in. They want to say, I want to be a member here. I want to invest. Because this is going to be my place of worship on Sunday.
But if you treat them like trash.
But you treat them like trash. So tie up the hefty bag and put it out.
You 100%.
I'm not going to do it.
I don't know. So let me tell you something. One thing put my own life out here real fast. One thing about my husband, and those around me know this, and they're probably gonna start laughing. When I'm angry, my husband won't eat my food.
Right. Right.
Okay, it's funny.
Right.
It's true. If I'm angry and I start to cook, he's like, nah,
I'm alright.
I'm good. I'll go out and get something. It's gonna make me more angry.
Right.
But
I
realize that's when I have to literally check myself. Like, okay, Angel, what energy are you giving off?
Right. Because it's energy.
There's a message here. What energy are you giving off, Angel, that your husband doesn't want to eat because your energy is off, and now I'm putting that in my food.
Yep.
So if you ever came to the restaurant, for those who came to the restaurant,
Jason, Wendy's it is.
No, and it's funny, but it's true.
But it's true.
And that's why I'm letting you guys get a little peek into my real life.
Come on, Pete.
if you ever come to the restaurant, you notice that if I'm mad, I don't cook anything.
No.
Because
that's why I was frying that one day.
Right. So if you come in and I'm sitting down, I'm irritated about something, I won't cook your food. Same with my husband. If I'm angry, he won't eat my food because he knows that energy, because it's my passion. Help me, God.
Come on.
Because it's my passion, any emotion that I have is going to go into what I'm doing. Right? So if he's got me all, you know what I mean, and I'm trying to cook something, he like, nah, I don't want that.
That's true. I can't bake, man.
Yeah, right.
That cake won't go flat, honey.
So let me ask you.
Yeah, come on.
If you and the pastor aren't getting along for whatever reason.
Okay.
Whatever the reason is, it could be no fault of your own. It could be your fault.
It won't taste right. That's right, Miss Stephanie.
How do you expect anybody who is playing for you to give their 100%? If you have vexed their spirit so much that they can't, because everything that they're feeling is coming through their hands. Whether you are an organist, a bass player, a percussion player, drums, I don't care if you played a freaking tambourine or a banjo. Right. I don't care. How do you expect, if they're not all the way together, if they're got an attitude or they're angry about something, because it may not manifest right away. You may say something to them in rehearsal on Tuesday, and they still thinking about it on Sunday because you didn't rectify it during the week, and then they're starting to play. But you want them to play at 100% gift and talent.
Right.
When you have not done what the Bible said, which was take your gift to girl.
That's because
here we go.
Here we go.
I didn't want to go there.
No, we won't go there. Here we go. That's because we have forgotten that investment that allows manifestation, when it's done poorly, affects execution.
Exactly.
And then with poor execution means now that the atmosphere is now off because thermostat check.
Exactly.
It's not working. It's not working. We're not connected. We're not flowing.
We can't both be in the same room.
We can't.
And I want the temperature to be 32 degrees, and she wants the temperature to be 85, and we both comfortable.
And we uncomfortable.
It's a mismatch right there. It's
and then
not going to work.
With that, now you have no visitation, because God be like, I'm not.
Because you two have
coming in this
right. How do you expect God to enter into an atmosphere that's bipolar? It has to be. It's almost like a marriage.
Yes, it's relationship. But watch this. God is relationship. God is relationship. So how can you be in God's house? Because I don't own God's house.
Nobody has a monopoly on God's house.
This your house. I'm thankful that you invited me in. I hope that you stay while I'm here and don't get so insulted by my presence and leave.
In my Father's house there are many mansions.
Yes.
So we're just one house.
Listen.
You don't have a monopoly.
Go. She said, "What? I'm about to go. Y'all about to."
I'm sorry.
But this don't just speak to musicians. This is like
it doesn't.
Leadership.
Yes.
It doesn't. You can take
everyday life.
You can literally take this completely out of the church.
Yes.
Completely out and put it into a corporate building where there is a whole bunch of executives inside of one room, and there's a CEO over everything, and it still applies.
Yes. But you know what? It's funny. And I'm not giving Satan no credit, but he knew the one position to play with.
And of course,
because of the position that he held.
That's his. And that's the reason why it's such a battle,
right, between
Levite and leadership.
Yes,
because this is exactly the relationship between God and Lucifer.
And people always ask, and I think this is where the misconstruedness comes. Why? People don't know how to treat musicians in the church because they get confused with the gifting and the talent.
And if your leadership don't treat your musicians right, your congregants won't treat them right either.
And they don't know how to treat right. Because watch this.
Leadership.
What each thing does has a purpose of where it is applied. A talent can be applied outside of the church. A gifting is for the purpose within the church. Do not abuse the two. Don't confuse the two. Don't try to make the two interchangeable. A musician that can play well, yes, he can be part of the symphony orchestra, and he could utilize that within the church. But a gifting that changes the atmosphere, that it invokes manifestation, and then has perfection of execution, that's gifting. Yeah. That's where God is all over that. That's the difference between the symbol and symbol. Yes, that's where we get the abuse that now has allowed to come in. And now the abuse has affected the musician, and if he does have a home, now that is carried home. And that's carried over in the home. Now you have the wife that's mad. She doesn't want to be in the church. Right. She doesn't want to go now because of how she feels.
Now this ain't me.
Come on.
Yeah, I'm talking about me either. The wife doesn't want to go because she's watching how you're, and she can't say nothing.
Yes.
See, a lot of us have to endure you abusing our husbands, and we're not supposed to say anything.
And watch
this.
You want
us to not say anything, and I ain't the one that's not gonna say something.
Right. And watch this. Let me make this clear. Abuse is not just not paying them. No, abuse is overexertion. Abuse is not respecting the boundaries, not respecting the time, not respecting the family, not offering. You know what? Go home today. We're not going to have rehearsal this week. We're going to prepare. We're going to send out the list and the song that we sang. We're going to sing that this week.
But then you
consideration.
But then you're ready to call them heathens and everything else. Because they're bouncing from church to church.
Yes.
To church. Because they're
like you bounce from job to job when you ain't respected. But we ain't going to talk about that.
But we ain't going to talk about that.
I'm going to sip my cup. I said it.
When they go from church to church, there are all kinds of things. But when you go from job to job, you try to level up.
Yes.
Okay.
At least you got an HR department. Who they got? Oh. They got the board. They supposed to go to the board. That's who they going to. The board is the HR. I said it. I'm gonna sip my cup. I'm gonna shut up. Go ahead, Angel. What's the next question? Lord. Y'all done got me started. Don't write no more comments.
Lord. And I'm just and I'm saying. You want to, and then don't forget, we're only talking about regular service. Let's not talk about the conferences.
Oh, yeah.
And the conventions. And the convocations. Everything starts with a C.
It did.
You know what starts with a C? Care.
Consideration.
Those start with a C too.
Connection.
That.
Communication.
Those. Look, there's more C's there.
Oh, it's more C's. Oh, we go all day. Don't make me pull up Google.
Because y'all want to be in these convocations for 7 hours.
And I'm not doing
pay
it.
The drummer the same $150.
I'm not doing it.
For 7 hours.
I'm not doing it.
Oh.
Blowing out the bass player's amp.
Blowing
What's it called? His rig.
His amp out. He been in here for 6.5 hours.
He done been here, and you done let 6 bass players play on the same bass rig.
How many videos have you done seen? With
Comfort,
the musician,
that's a good one.
With the musician being assaulted.
Right.
And I ain't talking about nobody's hands being put on nobody. Y'all assault these musicians. Mm-hmm. You assault them, you embarrass them, you trigger them.
Yes.
And then expect to be respected.
Yes. And know your daughter cannot sleep with them.
Oh.
Then
you're like, oh, he ran through the whole praise team. But did it ever occur to you that the praise team ran through him?
Right.
Let me sit.
This is good. I'm going to need some ice. I'm starting to have pulp.
You always hear that, the musician ran through the whole praise team. But the praise team allowed him to run through. So, I mean, isn't that the same thing?
My thing is, let's check both sides of the DM.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just him.
Let's pull your DMs up.
Because there's a lot of female musicians out here that get the same stuff.
I said it. Pull your DM up. Let me see your side.
And listen, I got a niece who's coming up, and she's gonna be a female musician. Let me explain something to you. Let one of y'all.
She talking about my okay.
Let one of y'all. Okay. Let one of y'all.
Y'all heard that? Okay.
That's the end. I don't even have to say anything else.
Okay.
But I have a son who's a musician, and I look at my husband and look at my son, and I'm like, do I have to deal with watching the things that the abuse that I've seen through, from my husband over the years? Do I have to actually watch that. I want my son to play because he's a really good, really, really good trumpet player.
Mm-hmm.
But do I really want him to endure this?
Mm-hmm.
I had to look at that stuff, step back and look at it like, yeah, it would be great if he goes on to become, a baby Miles Davis. But no, do I want to deal? Who wants to deal with that?
Right.
And then we didn't even talk about those musicians that are some are husbands and some are not that are on the road.
Yes. That's a whole different battle right there. That's a whole
different avenue. Because there's a lot of musicians who play who want to be on the road.
Yep.
You know how much harder it is for the wife?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've encouraged my husband.
Mm-hmm.
If this is what you want to do, go ahead. I am very much a supporter of anything he wants to do. You want to go on the road, go right ahead. Mm-hmm. But I know it's a different level of prayer.
Right.
I know it's a different... I can't just hop a flight because I still got babies.
Right.
Not babies, but
right.
Teenagers at home. But my warfare got to be very different.
Because let's be honest, if they chose to add that aspect, traveling as an aspect of what they do, this is where that thin line comes in again.
Right.
For example, I work as an underwriter for auto dealer services. Sometimes I'm required to travel. I can't tell them, oh, I took this job, I wanted this job, but I'm not going to travel. Sometimes, depending on if I'm the relationship manager, I have to go and meet these people. I'm the underwriter. Sometimes I have to go and see, are they performing the way we expect? Or is there any issues? What's going on with the property? Things like, so I have to go and meet the owner. I have to go meet the family. I can't tell my husband, oh, you know what? Whatever you decide to do is fine except traveling.
Right.
If that's what he wants to make, it's his career as well.
Right, and if his career requires him
that,
you got to fly out to Vegas and play for.
And he's done it in a blizzard.
And I'm like,
shout out to One Accord that flew that time in the blizzard, and he drove all the way to Maryland to catch a flight out of Maryland to get to Vegas for the what was that out there?
I think the Sellers.
The awards, the Sellers. Left me here. I said go.
But that's not that's the same thing. Like, my job requires me, to fly
travel
out somewhere, and I can't even imagine. Oh, babe, I gotta go to Texas to do blah blah blah. And you'd be like, yeah, I know that's your job and all, but you can't go.
Yep.
What? Like, no, that's not.
Yep.
That's just not gonna. Right. That's not gonna work. You might as well not even be in that profession.
Respect is not a license for control.
For that, and for those women who are in relationships or married to a musician who travels, your prayer life got to be so different.
It does have to be different.
Your prayer life has to be so different. So does your. Never mind.
So if you add, like, if you're on here and you're asking, well, what do you pray for? You pray for patience. You pray for security. You pray for encouragement. You pray for love to be well established. You pray for respect. You pray for boundaries. It's a whole list of things. Yeah, but you pray uniquely to who you are, who He is, and who the Lord has assigned and called for you to be. And be aligned in that. So when you get up, Lord, what would you have for my life today? What would you have for me to do today? And for him. And let us both walk in that individually and collectively.
Yes, that's me and Jay's
completely.
That's me and Jay have our own personal scripture for our marriage, but then we have a scripture for our marriage that is collective, together, and that's Amos 3:3.
Yes.
How can two walk together unless we agree?
We agree.
That's our scripture for our marriage. Yes. Like, we can't do this if we're not going to agree. No. And if we get to the place where we just not seeing eye to eye, it's just not getting done.
Yep.
Because I'm not going to just be like, I'm doing it anyway.
Right.
No.
And watch this.
And he respects me and loves me enough to say I'm not going to just do it because outside of what you say.
And I'm not saying you don't get mad. I've gotten mad, but when I tell you the Lord has silenced me, you can't say nothing. And now me and the Lord, I'm looking at the Lord, and He looking at me like, now say something to me, and I'll be like, you right, Lord. I ain't saying nothing to you. Because I can't say nothing to you. I'm gonna go to my room and I'm gonna shut up.
Watch TV.
And I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna look at these baking videos because That's all.
We got one final question.
Okay, what's the
one
last
final question that we're gonna go into for our last 10 minutes, and this is
Who's the question?
it's the question that I have for you.
Oh, come on, another one. This is good.
I know that over the years, you and my brother have been through a lot.
Yes.
You have literally watched him deal with a lot.
Yes.
As a working musician,
Yes.
how is the how do I say this? How do you I should say this. How do you cover that's it. How do you cover your husband and his mental state? Because a lot of people don't realize, because they're creatives, the mental health of a musician is extremely important. Because they're creative people, there's a lot of torment that goes on mentally in their minds, because they got all this going on within them that needs to come out, but then they have the whole entire world, family, wife, children. Some may have parents that are older that may be sick. They got all kinds of life things going on.
Absolutely.
And then they have their occupational things going on, which is their talent. But then they have their gifting that they still have, that still dwells within them, that is always raging to come out in their creativity, where they don't always, not always, some
right.
like our husbands do, but they don't always have an outlet.
Correct.
How do you cover your husband? And the reason why I'm mentioning this is because we're in the month of May. May being the month of mental health awareness. So how does your husband's mental state, how do you cover him in that area, knowing that there's so much going on inside of his mind?
So that's a loaded question, because my position of coverage has evolved over the years. The first thing I had to learn and accept is what I could cover and what I could not. What was my place to cover and what wasn't. What was my place to actually provide coverage for, and then what was my place to just pray that the Lord cover. So for years, Darian and I went to the same church. He played for the church. He was invested in the church. He would run the sound. He would do this. They had sound people, but as life went on, he would kind of like be there and be responsible for whatever, because he's a perfectionist.
Right.
One day he came to me and he said, I was settled because for years Darian played in multiple different places. Even though I worshiped at one church, he would be playing other places. And my prayer was eventually, Lord, let us be able to worship together, especially when the kids came. And so for 6 years, we were in the same place. Then eventually he came to me and he said, the Lord is calling me to go somewhere else, but not for you to leave. Because I said, Lord, you didn't tell me to leave yet. And he says, no, I didn't. So I said, well, now we're separated again. And for a year, I was cantankerous and I was mean and I was all of these things because I was angry with the Lord, because I said, Lord, you answered my prayer, now it's over.
Now you took it away.
You took it away. I don't understand. And he said, do you remember the prayer that you prayed over your mother? And I said, yes. When she was getting ready to die from cancer, I said, Lord, even though you gave me to her to me, she belongs to you. He says the same applies. The rule has not changed. He's mine. I'm gifting him to you. He belongs to me. So where I send him, he must go. And you must accept my will and that he's following the assignment I assigned, because I'm the assignor. And so I had to make peace with accepting that, Lord, if you called him, you have him. And I'm not here to take your place.
That's your brother's favorite line. If it's your will, it's your bill.
It's your bill. And I had to accept that my covering is to pray his protection, to pray his sanity, to pray that, Lord, you give him the words. Because when Moses didn't know what to say, you spoke for him. Be his mouthpiece, not me. because I'm speaking from my position and my perspective.
Right.
I can't see what you can see.
And
I can't hear what you
that's
can
good.
hear.
That was for me because I'm usually the one that speaks up.
I
Okay.
speaks up, and I had to realize that's not my place. So I had to realize my placement and my position to be able to realize that my coverage is that when he comes home, I'm warm. When he comes home, I'm open.
Because a lot of people have this thing as, I want to be my husband's peace. That's
Yes.
not your responsibility.
Yes.
A lot of people want to say that, and that sounds beautiful.
Yes.
It's not your responsibility to make your husband happy.
No.
It's not your responsibility to be his peace.
Yes.
That's not your responsibility. That's his responsibility.
Yes.
It's his job to be his own, to find his own peace.
Yes. What I would
And
say
what
is be
makes him
peaceful.
Be peaceful. There's a huge difference.
And home should always be the place of reset.
Right. So for me, like remember I just said a few minutes ago that we all have our specific
Absolutely.
scriptures, and then we have one
Yes.
for the actual marriage. Mine was I'm paraphrasing is I would rather I didn't want to be that woman who would put my husband on the corner of the rooftop.
Yeah.
Because I was constantly nagging somewhere in
Yes.
Psalms 19 something like that.
Yes.
And it says that the woman from nagging and being a quarrelsome wife.
Yes.
That the man will go to the corner of the top of the rooftop
Yes.
just to get away from her. I didn't want to be that woman. So
Yes.
that right there was my scripture.
Right.
Lord, this scripture right here, I don't ever
Right.
want to be this.
Right.
So teach me and keep me
Right.
so that I don't ever become this.
Right.
I'd rather be peaceful, but I cannot be his peace.
Right.
That's just not
And
possible.
watch this. I actually
God is his
had
peace only.
I had someone come to me in that time where I had realized it was revealed to me. The Lord revealed to me that in that time that Darian had left and he was just following assignment, how I was. And in my vulnerability, I acknowledged it and it was thrown back in my face. And for 6 months, I was broken. Because I was like, as soon as I admitted, I realized, no, it wasn't fair to everybody around me. I realized what was going on. I was really mad with the Lord that it was thrown on me. But it was my husband that said, that's how, because I got accused of being that woman that made it uncomfortable for him to come home. And it was my husband who said to me, that may be the viewpoint of others. I understood. And if it did not come from my mouth, then that is not the perspective that I have of who you are to me.
Ladies, stop allowing people to project their perceptions on your marriage. Because you will sit here and start tap dancing for other people.
Yes.
When your husband wants you to salsa.
Yes. Yes.
Your husband wants you to salsa.
Right.
And you're out here tap dancing for
Yes.
other people because they have perceptions on what your marriage is supposed to be. This is the reason why I say all the time, don't look at us strange and confused because my husband's out here saying I got 2 other wives. That's not your place or your business to worry about what the foundation is. We have an understanding. We stood at that altar. Me and him. Not me, you and him.
Yes.
So I could care less about your perceptions or your thoughts on what we should be doing.
Yes.
And that's what Darian was basically saying to you. Like, other people and the way they shine their light over here does not make us shine.
No.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. And
it doesn't make us shine.
He has a joke that he says, because he said, I've done my dirt. He said, you should have left. But I'm tremendously blessed that you stayed. And just this Mother's Day, that was what he wrote in the card. He said, you should have left. But I'm tremendously blessed that you stayed. And I said, that was the acknowledgement that every wife wants. That I didn't marry perfection, whether he's a perfectionist or not. He's not perfection. But he was created by a perfect God.
That perfect for me.
That will perfect any situation that I need him to. He's perfectly imperfect. And when you speak of scriptures, exactly.
But it works for me.
Darian's scripture is, and I'm paraphrasing, he says, iron sharpeneth iron, so shall you sharpen the countenance of a friend. And you brought up friendship, and one thing I can say that has stood the test of time between Darian and I is no matter how much we've agreed or disagreed,
Our friendship.
we have always sharpened each other. That his strength and my strength have rubbed off on one another. That, okay, we're over that and we're going to sharpen again. Because without that friendship,
right,
without that respect, I don't think, of course, with the foundation and the basis of God being the center always, but just that aspect of, and we make a joke where he says, you don't really like me. And I'm like, no, I don't like you. But in all honesty, I like who he is. I like him.
That right there.
Which makes it easier to love him.
I love you. Still very much in love.
But I like you. I like being around you.
And I can be around you all day and not feel no type of way.
And my child is here as a witness. We were riding in the car. And I know y'all have done this. And Josie asked a question for something. And both of us answered with the same answer at the same time. And we just looked at each other, and I was like, now either I've been with you too long or you've been with me too long. He said, or we've been too long with each other. But either way, it came out the way it needed to. I said, and it was just funny because it was exact. I don't know whose it was, because we agreed. And that was just a reminder. That's after 12 years of marriage. Right. And 16 years together.
Still fall short in
still
marriage.
Fall short.
We still fall short.
Still
very much fall.
I still fuss.
Yeah, girl.
I still cuss everybody out. Everybody pick their clothes up and put them in heads and beds. And I'm all over the place. I still do all that. And in that, this is Darren.
But if I did it, he
would say, you don't feel well? You don't feel good?
If I'm not fussing
he'd be like, you don't feel
something,
you got your medicine.
He's gonna look at me strange.
Where your insulin at?
What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with you? You take your iron pill, you feeling?
I can see it now. If I came in the house and said nothing, and just hey babe, and that was it, he'd probably be like, all right, I'm going out for a while.
Nervous.
Because clearly there's something wrong.
But as long as I'm still buying Pepsis and cookies and
that,
he'd be like, all right, well, there's hope.
But we could literally go on.
We could go on
with this, and we did a 2-hour show today instead of one.
Did we? We were talking because the people y'all still was on here.
Just because we knew it was going to be one of those nights.
Yes.
And clearly, there was still so much more that could be said.
It's so much more. We kept it good.
We going, we going to do that.
I mean, cup. Hold your cup because it's heavy.
But we appreciate y'all. We love y'all.
We love y'all.
Is there anything you want to say to the people?
Y'all
give my special guest some hearts.
Hi, y'all.
Y'all give her some hearts because she did exactly what I needed her to do.
I'm just thankful for the opportunity. This was a good outlet. This was good to talk about. We kept it good. I think we did good.
We kept it very clean.
We kept it very clean. But in all honesty, for those that are looking and the desire of your heart. Somebody in here, time to go. Wrap it up. I don't know what just happened. I don't do things moving by itself. Ain't nobody over there. You understand? Okay, Zach, come get your studio. It's starting to come alive. I don't know if that means get out again. I don't know. But I would say anybody with the desire to be married, I love marriage.
Love marriage.
Let me make that very clear.
Love
we talked about
it's beautiful.
A lot of things. And yes, it is work. Yes, it is dedication. Yes, it is a grandeur of things.
Yes, it is.
But
it's worth it.
Choose to be wife because God has allowed me the blessing to be wife, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
And I was wife before you got married. Before you married me.
Yes.
Let me just put that out there.
Right. And
he that findeth a wife
finds a good thing.
And
so be found.
Obtaineth favor.
Yes.
You can't leave
Don't leave that part off.
And obtaineth favor, but he had to find me as a wife.
And what I had to allow God to do is allow him to find Darian. So that Darian could find me. And once Darian was found and allowed himself to be found. When I say I would relive the day over and over and over.
Every day of it.
because I
It's been
enjoy
a beautiful 8 years.
through the heartache, through the tears, through the laughs, through the I am blessed with 2 gifts who look like their father.
No, they don't.
Well, one look like me. Yeah, one does look like
you.
father. One does look like me. But they both came out looking like each other. So it's an awkward situation. But we know who the daddy is. Because for a while I was like, well, who's the mother? I want a maternity test. But, okay. I mean, they get paternity tests. Who's the mother?
All him.
Yeah, the first one's all him.
Face and attitude.
But I encourage anyone to know that with all the things that life takes, not just marriage, what life takes, marriage is ordained. It is a blessing.
It is a blessing.
And it is beautiful. And I don't want anyone to be discouraged. It can happen whenever the Lord says yes.
As long as God stays in it.
So I encourage you, just wait for the yes.
Yeah.
And it will be worth it when it comes. Was that good? Was that a good closing?
That was good.
I felt like that was deep.
All that comes with it.
Child, be
I say it all the time. It takes a special anointing to be married to a musician. It's a special anointing.
A special anointing.
You have to be ready for all
special anointing and a bunch of equipment in your house.
And she ain't talking about chords.
No, it ain't just chords. It ain't just, it's more than chords. But I appreciated talking to everybody.
Yes. Shout out to you. Hey. All right, so any of y'all who, if you don't follow her already, look up Eneon, Brister, or Grandma B's Bakery. And that. So
y'all hear Tiffany?
Just gonna put that out there real fast. This, Grandma B's
the people
Bakery,
already reached out to the child for June.
She is, as of April, for some of y'all who did not.
Listen.
Did not. I don't care. I'm gonna say stuff.
Did not
adhere to
the
notice that she gave out. She is not doing any more cakes until June. Let me tell you something. If I can cancel my cake for my birthday, which is this month, by the way,
which she's still getting, because I don't care what she said.
No, I canceled it. Now I can't do anything about what she.
Yeah, she did officially cancel, but I don't.
Canceled my cake because she needed a break.
I did
a break,
and entrepreneurs need a break too,
yo.
especially when you do everything. You guys are wondering, for those of y'all who are wondering why the restaurant is temporarily closed, because I'm tired. And I need a break. And nobody was coming to help me, and nobody was paying those bills but me.
And the bills are high, y'all.
And they're high. They are high. A 41% increase.
Yes, high.
In
ridiculous.
Utilities is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
And nobody wanted to help me.
No.
And a lot of people I thought was pretty funny that a lot of people asked me why we closed, ain't never stepped foot in there. But we ain't gonna go there. That's not for this show.
Oh.
This ain't for this show.
Oh. What do they do on TV when you say something that's like almost borderline uncomfortable? They look right at the camera. Is that the camera? Okay, I'm looking at the camera. That's what they do on TV. They just,
if
you know how they look.
If you step foot inside the shop in the year and a half that we were open, don't ask me anything. Don't ask me anything. If you're not willing to help me reopen it, if you're not willing to help me reopen it, there is a. I don't know if you guys noticed that. Even though we shut down, I've never stopped cooking because it's my passion. It's always who I'm going to be. But I've been like small time fundraising so I can possibly reopen. If you haven't tried to help in that, don't ask me anything. I love you, but don't ask me nothing. But for Grandma Bean's Bakery, she's closed until June. She's not accepting any more orders until June 1st because she needs a break. She has a family. She needs a break. Her daughter is getting ready to graduate into the next grade. Like, she got family things going on.
I do.
Please don't ask for anything until June. This is just be respectful. Please be respectful.
She loves me.
I'm gonna say it because y'all have been inboxing. You think I don't know? I know. Y'all been inboxing. Y'all been texting. You've been asking for stuff, knowing she said that she is supposed to be taking a break.
I'm serious.
If I have to, I'll take her books from her, and she can't schedule none of y'all. And then you're gonna have to ask me. And I promise you don't want to do that. So please do not reach out to her until after June 1st. But I understand why you want it because her cakes are phenomenal.
Thank you.
But please, June 2nd, give her just 2 weeks. What, that's 2 weeks?
That's 2 weeks.
Just give her 2 weeks, please.
Yes.
Please give her 2 weeks. All right. we love you. We thank you guys for listening to In the Key of J&A podcast live from Zach Williams Studios.
On the sexy red couch.
In the hot seats with the cups. Make sure you have your
have to shimmy on this
next week. And we will be back because we'll be talking. My birthday's getting ready to come up. So all I need is like 10 new pair of shoes.
10?
I get 10 new pair of shoes every birthday.
Darian, you hear that? Are you listening, Darian?
It doesn't matter where they come from.
Hey,
most of the time,
let me get some Timbs.
Most of the time, Jay does not buy them, even though he bought these fly Jones on my feet right here though. Shout out to you, babe, because you did those.
He did that. I don't even know what to buy, so I can't even tell nobody else what to buy because I don't buy.
She got a shoe rack.
But yeah,
I get shout out to Sharina Grierson for giving me all my Asics. Thank you.
My shoes, man. My shoes. I got the.
Even though these glow in the dark, these is hype. I want some more.
My shoe rack, cause man.
I seen your 9 million shoes that you had. What are you gonna do?
My sisters got on me so bad today, but then encouraged me. Shout out to Deneen and Deneen.
Musician Wives Shoe Anonymous. We need to go.
Girl,
I'm gonna take you.
Because they tore me up talking about myself. Why in the hell is your shoes laying on top of each other? We gotta get you a
because she got 9,000.
I'm so sorry. And,
she got 9,000.
And the next thing you know, they was encouraging me. But sis, we love you and we want you. You know, I was just like,
that's how I used to be about wigs.
Tore down and then pulled back up again.
That's real. That's real family.
That's real family.
Get your shoes.
That's why I put a post up. I said, when I tell you, they love me like sisters do today. Right. They tore me down and built me right back up, had me crying, walking through the ShopRite crying. Oh. Girls in the ShopRite crying. And people looking at me like I'm stupid. And I was in the parking lot crying. And the white lady was looking at me. And I'm like, if you ain't coming over here to give me no tissue or pray or something, lady, get away from my car.
Get over these collard greens.
I don't know what your relationship is with the Lord.
Get out of here. You sitting here watching me cry. Get out of here.
Oh, Father God, praise.
Oh man, but yes, that's right. Take the books. We'll take the no cakes. Don't ask her for nothing until June 2nd.
No, Joel,
that's right. And yes, I am looking forward. I'm about to turn. My wife is on here. Hey, wife.
She just said wife.
Wife, I done talked about you like 3 times.
She did.
I sure did. You have to go back and watch the replay, or you guys can. Oh yeah, please go to In the Key of J&A Radio Show on YouTube and subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can some of these Facebook Lives have been coming off, but they're still on the YouTube.
You know what they say on YouTube? They be like, comment, follow, and subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe.
What they said. I'm not gonna share all that.
I'm doing the heart.
Yeah.
Was that a good commercial?
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah, like, comment, and subscribe.
Whatever. Whatever they just said.
Send it to somebody.
Yep. Do that. This was an amazing conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sissy.
My sissies filled in for my husband
today. I did. Thanks, Jay, and I stayed out of Facebook
bring
jail.
Her back for the cut up because tonight was a more serious conversation.
It was good.
But the next one, I think we need to play one of our games from the house.
Child, no, I got accused of having liver disease. All of them voted against me, y'all, include my husband. They think I drink too much. I mean, I had a cup tonight, but don't judge me.
You know what we should do? We should do a Would You Rather game.
Would you?
You're going to hell. I can't.
We should do one of the games that we play in the house. We should do on the air because that would be crazy.
Oh my God, that last one was hilarious.
That would be so hilarious. No, because I felt like I was being shaded.
But wait, who was accused of being the porn star?
Ebony.
Okay, right. And I was accused of being the alcoholic with the bad liver. You were the gold digger. Yes.
Kai was the pothead.
Kai was the pothead. Kai was definitely the pothead. We all voted for Kai.
You had liver disease.
I had liver disease because I drink too much. My husband voted against me.
I was the saint.
Girl.
I was the saint.
No, you and Jay had all the freaky stuff together.
Nobody can remember what I was.
I really don't.
I don't.
That's because I was a saint. There's a halo here. You can't see it.
Okay,
because it's non-existent.
Lightning strike with all this equipment.
We love y'all. We will see y'all next week. Bye. Enjoy y'all weekend.
Bye.